You know, there was a time when these little S10 pickup trucks were as prevalent on the road as Richard Karn was on TV.
I don't think so, Tim.
Unfortunately, neither one is the case so much anymore. So what's wrong with this one? Well, a guy I know needed some help. This is his kid's school car, and the old door here just doesn't work quite right anymore. Now, I wouldn't say I'm completely inept when it comes to computers and cameras and so forth, but somehow I managed to lose the first few files of working on this. So I'm going to have to tell you, someone came in and welded on a flat washer on one of the hinge pins instead of fixing it right. I don't know, maybe their bushings just broke and they didn't feel like replacing it. I don't know. But either way, it turns out the door has been damaged in the past. The adjustment isn't quite right, and on these little S10s, there is no door gap adjustment. So it pretty much is what it is. We need to fix the hinge pins. We need to fix a wind noise going on when you're going down the road, and put a new spring in. And where we pick up, I'm knocking the pins out. You'll see the washer welded onto the hinge, and you'll notice that I cut the speaker wire. There's only 2 wires going through from the door to the cab, and I'm going to put a weather pack connector in there. So, hey, in the future, who knows? If the door needs to come off again, all you got to do is undo a nice weather-tight connection, and the door will come off. Well, here's the situation as I'm seeing it. It's actually looking like less work than I thought it was going to be. So the top bushing, that's what was left of it. Obviously very worn out. It was still in there. But it looks like the new top bushing should go in there nice and tight, and it shouldn't be a problem. Now the bottom one, I thought this bottom ear would have been totally shot. And maybe once we remove this washer and the weld, who knows, there could be a crack under there or something, we'll find out. But when I stick a new bottom bushing up there on the old ear, it acts like it should press in and be nice and tight. So we may get lucky and get away with just removing whatever someone was trying to do here without removing the old pin. And I think that's all they were trying to do was somehow tighten up the old pin or keep it in place without replacing this stuff, is all that was going on. So I'm going to remove this, and I am going to get another pin set because, well, I'll show you why. So we go to the bottom, and yeah, it is better, and both bushings are still in place, but it's completely loose. I mean, that's a lot of wear in there. Can actually see it's very much grooved, machined out. So in the interest of quieting down that air noise, we're just going to replace both. Well, after all that, I'm kind of leaning back towards original plan, cutting this ear off, welding on a new piece, and going from there, because I'll show you. Whether or not you can see it too well on the camera, I don't know. But if you compare the nice even thickness of the top ear, you know, at least 3/16 of an inch, it's better than an eighth. And from the welding and now me grinding, she gets down pretty thin here towards the end. The hole is just slightly wallered out, so it wouldn't be a true press in. You know, there'd be a little gap there. The bushing would take it up and it would deal with it, but hey, we're here, we're working on this thing, we might as well do it 100% right. So I think in the end I am going to make a cardboard pattern, whack this off, make a copy out of new steel, and then we will weld it in there. So I've got my pattern traced. I'll probably end up making two. One leave this one like this, and then I've drawn a line in Sharpie right there. I want to cut most of that old welded material out. Still got a burr there, so I just traced a straight line. I'm going to chop that off, and then I will make another pattern based on that, and that way when I'm going back together I can compare this and I don't lose that. So for now I'm going to cut this off if possible. Well, it's tomorrow. Guy went to town and picked up another hinge pin. Also found a weather pack connector because we were out here and I really wanted to fix that wire that way. Went to the scrap pile, found a piece of 3/16 angle iron. That'll be good enough. Already traced our ear on there. Now I'm going to have to find perfect center of the hole and start by drilling that out. Then we'll cut this out, finish it out, weld it back on. Here's what the operation's looking like. Got our piece vice gripped on there. Gotta clamp it on or she'll do the woo-woo when you first tack it, you know. Gotta keep her nice and straight. Grounding clamp on the vice grip. That ought to complete that circuit nice and whatever, you know what I mean. Just need to find something to block off all of the stuff, the slag, the sparks from shooting into the upholstery. You really don't want sparks in the foam there. So we'll get set up and let's weld it. All right, here's where we're at. Looking pretty good, I think. Compare it to our pattern, and looks like we're right on the money. I welded it top and bottom. Welding upside down never turns out good for me, so I did clean up that weld a little bit. Didn't go flush completely with the grinder. Now I beveled the edge of the hinge and our new piece, and I left the tiniest of an air gap between when I spot welded it, so this weld would have penetrated right down to the center. So it's going to be nice and strong, and I'm going to leave the bead. It shouldn't be in the way of anything, and it's just added strength is all it is. So I'm going to leave it. I don't think it matters too much that it looks 100% perfect on this vehicle. And I'm more interested in it lasting and working for the guy than the appearance inside a door jamb. So I'm going to clean all this up, paint bare metal, then we'll put our bushings in, replace our bushings on the door, the bottom, and then we will go back together. Oh, I'll do our weather pack connector. But can anyone tell me why some blowgun manufacturers put holes on the side of the tube? For the life of me, I can't figure it out, and I just can't stand it. It makes no sense. I don't want the air coming out to the side. I want it coming out the end. Anyway. So what's the one thing you need when you're trying to put a hinge spring in on one of these? Well, it's room, anyone will tell you. And I think they do make a tool to collapse the spring, but this is just a bagger of a job no matter how you slice it. And just to make things a little easier, I'm sure it wouldn't be in any textbook, but this is just kind of floppy. You know, it's just got a hinge pin on one side of it. So just get yourself a pry bar in here and pry this down below the roller that it rides on, and just bring it out towards your A-pillar till you can easily get your spring in there. It's still caught under the roller. You know, don't get crazy with it. Now we're just gonna push it back in place. There she goes. Easy as pie, huh? Yeah. Okay. I need to get my speaker wire put back together. So where did I put that rubber boot? There it is. And let's see. How about we go like this? Alright, got our weather pack service connection in there, which will probably never need to be used again, but it's there if they need it. Easily remove the door without having to do any other connections. I'm going to get my little clips on the ends of the pins. That's no big deal, and then we will check out our door adjustment, or lack thereof. So she really doesn't like to close too much. You can see down on the striker here, it's hitting, we need to raise the striker up. In fact, I would like the whole top corner of this door to go down. You can see we got a gap here. But the unfortunate part about these little pick-em-up trucks is there is no door adjustment. You can see the gap is wider at the bottom. It's narrower at the top. The guy just feels at a real disadvantage when he can't adjust things how he would like to, but that's how it is on these. So let's see, I'm going to try to raise this quite a bit. Just shooting in the dark here. I'll try that. I think it could use all the adjustment we can get out of it. Well, it absolutely closes a whole lot better. I just need like a 800-pound guy to come sit right on that thing. I may try and adjust the corner in gently by persuasion. The gentle persuasion. You know, that's the problem. I'm just not going to get that out of it. We'll try a couple things. Well, I don't know if I gained a whole lot. I may have slightly. But I got to looking closer. This thing's been repainted, which means it's probably been damaged. You can see we've got a tape line here. We've got newer orange peel here. We've got sags in the paint here. All down here. This all looks messed up down here. There's a nice dent that didn't get block sanded out right there, so I'm definitely just chasing my own tail here, trying to get anything better out of it, especially when it's not built to get something better out of it. But I had to try. Now, this isn't the important weather strip. Obviously, we would like that to seal, but the one that's going to keep the water and the wind out is that one. So we will go for a test drive and see how it sounds. So I think what I'm going to do right now, throw some grease on the pins, reconnect the battery, maybe vacuum out all the dust, and we'll give it a shot. Alright, we'll get her out on the open road here. Got a good breeze today coming out of the southwest. So we're kind of heading, I would think if it was going to make some noise, it would be doing it already. Going 65, nice and quiet. Can't complain about this. But I think I'll turn north and go a half mile, turn around, come back south, and then we'll have covered all the directions with the breeze. And I really wouldn't know what else to try. He's got a service engine light on. I think he replaced intake manifold gaskets, and on these you need a scan tool to reset the timing, or that'll happen. And unfortunately, I do not have a high-end scan tool. Okay, I am exceeding 70 going north, and I would have absolutely no problem with the wind noise I'm hearing. I mean, it's normal stuff here. Oh, loading bales out there, it looks like, huh? Alright, let's whip her around. Anyone coming? Nope. Well, I'm glad it worked out. I was a little nervous about the wind noise issue, seeing how bad the adjustment of the door was. But I'm 100% sure it is because the door has been damaged. If a guy wanted to spend a whole lot of time prodding and pulling and banging on the door, I'm sure he could get it back. I don't think he's interested in it, and so I'm not going to do it. He just happened to mention if there's anything I could do about the wind noise, then do it. But I think we're good. Yep, all four directions with a breeze outside, no wind noise. So I'll see you back at the shop. Well, there we go. We've got it as good as we can get it. We did everything the man needed done, and it turned out pretty good. Nice and quiet going down the road. Closes easy. There's no slop at all. I mean, check this out. There is no slop in that door. Now, there's a few things I wanted to mention. If you have a similar vehicle, there are complete hinge assembly kits available. So I'm guessing, I've never done it before, I'm guessing pop the pins out, cut off your hinge halves. I think there's a provision in that kit to somehow bolt on the new hinges. You don't have to re-weld them on. That would be a nightmare to try to figure that out. And then maybe you get some adjustment with it with those replacement hinges. So that would be something worth looking into. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is if you are doing a similar job like I did, where you just need to replace one of the ears of the hinge, you could take your new piece, this is the old one, but take your new piece, when you clamp it on to the hinge, before you tack weld it, take your pin, could even take two of the old bushings or whatever you want to do, and use it as an alignment tool. Run it up through there, up into the top bushing or whatever the case may be, and then adjust your new piece in the clamp until your pin is nice and straight and true. And then once you weld it on, you won't have any alignment issues. Now these bushings that you get in these Dorman kits or whatever are so incredibly brittle. I have never ever liked them and have always wanted to just make my own. But if you're doing this job replacing pins or bushings, just be extremely careful. Go very slow and easy with a clamp, pushing the new bushings in, and finishing up, maybe get a block of wood and tap on it with a hammer. You don't want to get carried away just hammering on those bronze bushings, because they will break and crack on you. But anyway, that is all I have for you today. I know it's a little bit different of a job than we're used to doing, but it was something I took on and thought maybe it would be something worth showing. I don't know if it was. But thanks a lot for spending this time with me. God bless you guys. We'll see you next time.